It was challenging at first because you're learning a whole nother personality and the fine details of that personality. It was the responsibilities that we had placed on our shoulders once we got married that made it so that we had to try and decide what was better between our wants and our needs. And
because most all of our issues have been more just communication, like misunderstanding or jumping to conclusions or derived lens issue things,
It took that moment, that down moment, to be like, yeah, well, let's try something else. Let's try something new. And it's simple. We'll get to hear other people's comments, be able to apply it, which I actually really love to hear more than just one scenario, especially just ours. And maybe we'll be able to find something that will work for both of us.
The derived lens versus the inherent lens concept.
That was huge.
I mean, we kind of know it's there. I mean, right? Because it's like, man, you all of a sudden just change the way you act. But knowing that, I can now stay out of there. I mean, it's like, oh, don't do that, because that means I'm not being my best. I mean, that obviously, but, and then I can see when I come home and she's like cranky from the day with the kids, right? Which, I mean, there's kids, I can tell that, oh, she needs the validation, right? She needs to feel like she's worthwhile and she's amazing for the kids. That concept there, like, beats out everything I've learned so far, I think, in any other place or whatnot. And so that was a really great concept.
Yeah, that was helpful for us to be able to say, no wonder why, why he has to usually pull me out, and why these behaviors are expressing truly something else, and it makes sense. It's just hard to find and get past the emotions and the behaviors and then get to, okay, there's really some sort of feeling behind it all. And what is it? I thought when you held up your frame that had this clear glass with the message written on it, and it wasn't turned for everybody else to read, it was turned for me to read. Like, I thought that fit perfectly when we were able to figure out that, hey, he's like, you've got a lens that you're reading that is not what I see. And then he validates how I just have some rough times, but it doesn't mean anything against who I am. And it's nice because knowing that there's a lens, I can actually say, okay, I believe and trust you, and not that I didn't, but I believe and trust you with what you're saying, and so I can try and change my own inherent lens, or derived lens, and have it be on the more positive side. So that, I think that one for us, we talked a lot about, especially since it led into past stuff. We liked seeing that there was a grid to be able to measure on, so that helped with our perspectives. And it's like, well, I feel like I'm here, and he's like, well, I feel like we're here. Where we had that reminder, I definitely have been like, Catherine, you are lacking in your validation to your spouse. You got to build up that bank account instead of, just pull on the strings and sometimes deplete it. But
yeah, but I mean, it hit the nail right on the head, talking about just the typical male and woman with the lens. It's like, I'm worthless and I'm not enough. Here I am, just trying to communicate, be the person she needs me to be, but no matter what I try, I'm not enough, But we can recognize that, and she can say, hey, it's okay. You're doing good. I'd probably sum it up to swallow your pride and try and understand and see it from their perspective. There were several times I didn't understand, but I tried to see it from that angle and validate, and eventually the understanding came.
You plan to have some room for struggles. It's going to come. you got to plan for that. And what are you going to decide beforehand with those struggles? Are you going to stick together? Are you going to work through it even though there might not be understanding on one side or the other? And then how long is it going to take? Well, you commit that. And I think being positive through it, where it's like Tim always says to me, he goes, I may not get it now, but I will, because I am in this with you. And he's like, I want you. And because of that, you can conquer anything, even though it may take 12 years. But between the positive, working through, knowing that it's not just you, then you can conquer whatever comes.
Watching her, how she takes her trials and struggles, which are a lot in part being a mom and being at home. I'm really grateful for her for being that example, because she likes to hike that steep mountain, but I like the steady incline, steady small incline. And
No
so
bugs.
I got an example on how to step up my game if I need to.
He's always trying to fight for me and his understanding with the kids, and the effort in trying always is a perfect example of how I need to make sure I'm doing that much better.
I think I am just most grateful for who you are in personality and energy and everything, and what you contribute to our relationship and the family as a whole.
You are always consistent. You have clear values, clear standards, clear goals, and I love that you're achieving them, and I love that you present it in a manner that this is how you're going to be. And it compliments me. Clearly there is one defiant message, and that is that I love you, and I love you to the eternities and back. And that you are so what I want and what I need, and always. And you always have been.
I would say that through all the ups and downs that she and we have had, she's always been enough, right? She's been the person she aspires to. You are that person, and I love you for that and for a gazillion other reasons. But just know that you've reached your goal of being what you want to be.
Thanks. Is it awkward to kiss right now? Do you want that?
Kiss him.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everything that I ever wanted is right here in front of me and in my grasp, and so I'm the happiest man I could be. So when I married her, she was a 10. And then every year, I swear, she goes up a step.
Okay,
So-
now I'm really blushing.
I mean, you're at a 21 already.